Reading of Srila Prabhupada books, Bhagavad Gita as it is, Introduction of Bhagavad Gita, Part 3. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Guru and Gauranga. So, continuing our discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, we are reading Introduction of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So, in our last reading, we have read till the point of developing the relationship with Krishna in any of the 5 ways prescribed. And one should consider Krishna not as an ordinary person or Yug Purush or Avatar or some historical person or some powerful person or politician, but one should accept Krishna as the personality of Godhead as mentioned by Arjuna with reference of so many sages like Asita, Devala, Vyasa. And by accepting the teaching of Krishna consciousness by reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita, accepting Krishna as spiritual master, we can understand the Bhagavad Gita or the message of Bhagavad Gita from disciplic succession. So till now we have completed. Now we read further and we discuss about our reading. We will discuss about the reading. So being an associate of Lord Krishna, Arjuna was above all ignorance. But Arjuna was put into ignorance on the battlefield of Kurukshetra just to question Lord Krishna about the problems of life so that the Lord could explain them for the benefit of future generation of human beings and chalk out the plan of life. The man could act accordingly and perfect the mission of human life. So how one should act according to the Bhagavad Gita? One should not act in ignorance, but as per the enlightenment of knowledge from Bhagavad Gita. The subject of Bhagavad Gita entails the comprehension of five basic truth. First of all, the science of God is explained, and then constitutional position of living entities, jivas, is explained. Then there is Ishvara, which means the controller, and there are jivas, the living entities which are controlled. It is living entity says that he is not controlled but he is free. Then he is insane. The living being is controlled in every aspect, at least in his conditioned life. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, the subject matter deals with Ishvara, the supreme controller, and the jivas, the controlled living entities, Prakriti, material nature, and time, duration of existence of the whole universe or the manifestation of material nature, and karma, activity, are also discussed. These 5 basic points of Bhagavad Gita: Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. All living entities are engaged in different activities. From Bhagavad Gita, we must learn what God is, what living entities are, what Prakriti is, what cosmic manifestation is, how it is controlled by time, and what are the activities of living entities are. Out of this 5 basic subject matter in Bhagavad Gita, it is established that the Supreme Godhead or Krishna or Brahman or the Supreme Controller or Paramatma, you may use whatever name you like, is the greatest of all. So there is a verse in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Matta parataram na anyat kinchit aste dhananjaya. So he is confirming, he is the greatest of all. The living beings are in the quality like Supreme Controller. For instance, Lord has control over the universal affair of the material nature, as will be explained in the later chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Material nature is not independent. Maya Dakshina Prakriti. She is acting under the direction of the Supreme Lord. As Lord Krishna says, Maya Dakshina Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. This wonderful nature or material nature is working under my direction. When we see wonderful things happening in the cosmic nature, we should know that behind this cosmic manifestation, there is a controller. Nothing could be manifested without being controlled. It is childish not to consider the controller. For instance, a child may think that an automobile is quite wonderful to be able to run without the horse or the animal pulling it. But the sane man knows the nature of the automobile's engineering arrangement. He always knows that behind the machinery there is a man, a driver. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is the driver under whose direction everything is working. Now, the jivas or the living entities have been accepted by the Lord, as we will note in the later chapters, as is part and parcels. A particle of gold is also God. A drop of water from the ocean is also salty. And similarly, we are living entities, being part and parcel of the Supreme Controller, Ishvara or Bhagwan, Lord Sri Krishna. Have all qualities of Supreme Lord in minute quantity because we are minute Ishvaras, subordinate Ishvaras. We are trying to control nature, as presently we are trying to control space and planets, space or planets. And this tendency to control is there because it is in Krishna. But although we have tendency to audit our material nature, we should know that we are not the supreme controller. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita. What is material nature? This is also explained in Gita as inferior Prakriti. So, Prakriti Viddhime Param. There is verse in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, I will later discuss. So, inferior Prakriti, inferior nature. The living entity is explained as the superior Prakriti, Prakriti Vidyame Param. Prakriti is always under control, whether inferior or superior. Prakriti is female and she is controlled by the Lord, just as the activities of wife are controlled by the husband. Prakriti is always subordinate, predominated by the Lord, who is the predominator. The living entity and the material nature are both predominated, controlled by the Supreme Lord. According to the Gita, the Lord and the living entities, although part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, are to be considered Prakriti. This is clearly mentioned in the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Apere mitastvam prakriti viddhime param jiva bhutam. So there is verse in 7th chapter. Apareyam means itastvam. Anyam prakriti viddhime param. There is a para prakriti and there is a apara prakriti. So this is material nature is my inferior prakriti. But beyond this is another prakriti, jiva bhutam, the living entity. Material nature itself is constituted by three qualities: the mode of goodness, mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance. Above this mode there is eternal time, and by the combination of these modes of nature and under the control and purview of eternal time, there are activities which are called karma. These activities are being carried out from time immemorial. We are suffering or enjoying the fruits of our activities. For instance, suppose I am a businessman and I work very hard with intelligence and have amassed a great bank balance. Then I am enjoyer. But when I say I have lost all my money in business, then I am sufferer. Similarly, in every field of life, we enjoy the results of our work and we suffer the result. This is called karma. So what is karma? Karma means activities carried out from time immemorial. There is in form of suffering and enjoyment. If such as something positive we enjoy and something negative and have suffer. Like there is example in businessman. Ishvara, Supreme God, Jiva, living entity, Prakriti, nature, Kala, eternal time, and Karma, activity are all explained in Bhagavad Gita. Out of these five, the Lord, the living entities, material nature, and time are eternal. The manifestation of Prakriti may be temporary, but it is not false. Some philosophers say that the manifestation of material is false, but according to the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita or according to the philosophy of the Vaishnavas, this is not so. The manifestation of the world is not accepted as false, it is accepted as real, but temporary. It is linked unto the cloud which moves across the sky, or coming of the rainy season, which nourishes the green. As soon as the rainy season is over, and as soon as cloud goes away, all the crops which were nourished by the rain dry up. Similarly, this material manifestation take place at certain interval, stays for a while, and then disappear. Such are the working of Prakriti. Such are the workings of the Prakriti. But this cycle is working eternally. Therefore, Prakriti is eternal, it is not false. The Lord referred to this my Prakriti. This material nature is the separated energy of the Supreme Lord. And similarly, the living entities are also the energy of the Supreme Lord. Although they are not separated but eternally related. So, Lord, the living entity, material nature, and time are all interrelated and are all eternal. However, the other item, karma, is not eternal. The effects of karma may be old, indeed, very old indeed. We are suffering or enjoying the results of our activity from time immemorial, but we can change the result of our karma or our activity, and this change depends on the perfection of our knowledge. We are engaged in various activities. Undoubtedly, we do not know what sort of activity we should adopt to gain relief from the actions and reactions of those activities, but this is also explained in the Bhagavad Gita. The position of Ishvara, the Supreme Lord, is that of Supreme Consciousness. The Jivas, or the living entities, being parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, are also conscious. Both the living entity and material nature are explained as Prakriti, the energy of the Supreme Lord, but one of the two, the Jiva, is conscious. The other Prakriti is not conscious. That is the difference. Therefore, the Jiva Prakriti is called superior because the Jiva has consciousness which is similar to the Lord's. The Lord's is supreme consciousness, and one should not claim that the Jiva, the living entity, is also supremely conscious. The living being cannot be supremely conscious at any stage of his perfection, and the theory that he can be so is a misleading theory. Conscious he may be, but he is not perfectly or supremely conscious. For that we have chapter 13, and the chapter we particularly discuss about these items like Kshetragya and Kshetra. The distinction between Jiva and Ishvara will be explained in the 13th chapter that I was mentioning. The Lord is a Kshetragya, conscious as the living being, but the living being is conscious of this particular body. Kshetragyam apicham vidhi sarvakshetreshu bharata. That is a verse. So whereas the Lord is conscious of all bodies, because he lives in the heart of every living being, he is conscious of the psychic movement of the particular jivas. We should not forget this. It is also explained that the Paramatma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is living in everyone's heart as Ishvara, as a controller, and that he is giving direction for the living entity to act as he desires. The living entity forgets what to do. First of all, he makes a determination to act in certain way, and then he is entangled in actions and reactions of his own karma. After giving up one type of body, he enters into another type of body. As we take off and put on clothes, as the soul thus migrates, he suffers the actions and reactions of his past activities. The activities can be changed when the living being is in the mode of goodness, insanity, and understands what sort of activities he should adopt. If he does so, then all the actions and reactions of his past activities can be changed. Consequently, karma is not eternal. Therefore, we stated that of the 5 items, Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, time, and karma, 4 are eternal, whereas karma is not eternal. The Supreme Conscious, Ishvara, is similar to the living entity in this way. Both the consciousness of the Lord and that of the living entities are transcendental. It is not that consciousness is generated by association of matter. That is mistaken idea. The theory that consciousness develops under the certain circumstances of material combination is not accepted in the Bhagavad Gita. Consciousness may be permanently reflected by the covering of the material circumstances, just as light reflected through the colored glass may appear to be a certain color, but the consciousness of Lord is not materially affected. Lord Krishna says, Maya Dakshena Prakriti, Bhagavad Gita 9.10. When he descends into the material universe, his consciousness is not materially affected. If he were so affected, he would be unfit to speak on transcendental matter as he does in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. One cannot say anything about the transcendental world without being free from materially contaminated consciousness. So, The Lord is not materially contaminated. Our consciousness at the present moment, however, is materially contaminated. The Bhagavad Gita teaches that we have to purify this materially contaminated consciousness. Okay, so we have gone so far, but we will summarize at the end what we have discussed. So please let me read further. At the end of our session, we summarize whatever we have discussed. So I repeat the last sentence. Our consciousness at the present moment, however, is materially contaminated. The Bhagavad Gita teaches that we have to purify this materially contaminated consciousness. In pure consciousness, our action will be devoted to the will of Krishna, and that will make us happy. It is not that we have to cease all activities. Rather, our activities are to be purified. And purified activities are called bhakti. Activities in bhakti appear to be like ordinary activity, but they are not contaminated. An ignorant person may see that the devotee is acting and working like an ordinary man, but such a person with poor fund of knowledge does not know that the activities of the devotees or the Lord are not contaminated by impure consciousness or matter. They are transcended to the three modes of nature. We should know, however, that at this point our consciousness is contaminated. When we are materially contaminated, we are called conditioned. False consciousness is exhibited under the impression that I am the product of material nature. This is false ego. One who absorbs in the thought of bodily conceptions cannot understand his situation. The Bhagavad Gita was spoken to liberate one from the bodily conception of life, and Arjuna put himself in this position in order to receive this information from the Lord. One must become free from the bodily conception of life. That is preliminary activity for transcendentalist. One who wants to become free, who wants to become liberated, must first of all learn that he is not this material body. Mukti or liberation means the freedom from material consciousness. In the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, also the definition of liberation is given. Mukti hitvanyatharupam sarupena vyavasthiti. There is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 10, verse 6. Mukti means liberation from the contaminated consciousness of this material world and situation in pure consciousness. All the instructions of Bhagavad Gita are intended to awaken this pure consciousness, and therefore we find at the last stage of Gita's instructions that Krishna is asking Arjuna whether he is now in purified consciousness. Purified consciousness means acting in accordance with the instructions of the Lord. This is the whole sum and substance of purified consciousness. So, one question for you. Is Arjuna in pure consciousness after hearing Srimad Bhagavad Gita? Yes, that's why he says, Karishyam vachanam tava. But for us, there is affinity of being affected by the inferior modes. But the Lord being supreme is never affected. That is the difference between the Supreme Lord and the small individual souls. What is this consciousness? So now we study about consciousness. This consciousness is I am. I. Then what I am is in contaminated consciousness. I am means I am the Lord of all I survey. I am the enjoyer. The world revolves because every living being think that he is the Lord and the creator of this material world. Material consciousness has two psychic divisions. One is that I am the creator and other is I am the enjoyer. But actually the Supreme Lord is both the creator and the enjoyer. And the living entity, being part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, is neither the creator nor the enjoyer, but cooperator. He is created and the enjoyed. For instance, a part of machine cooperates with the whole machine. A part of body cooperates with the whole body. The hands, legs, eyes, and so on are all parts of body, but they are not actually the enjoyers. The stomach is enjoyer. The legs moves, the hands supply food, the teeth chew, and all part of body are engaged in satisfying the stomach because the stomach is the principal factor that nourishes body's organization. Therefore, everything is given to the stomach. One nourishes the tree by watering its roots, and one nourishes the body by feeding the stomach. For if the body is to keep kept in healthy state, then the parts of body must cooperate to feed the stomach. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is the enjoyer and the creator, and we, as our subordinated living beings, are meant to cooperate with to satisfy Him. This cooperation will actually help us, just as food taken by the stomach will help all other parts of body. If the finger of the hands thinks that they should take the food themselves instead of giving it to the stomach, then they will be frustrated. The center figure of creation and of enjoyment is the Supreme Lord, and the living entities are cooperators. By cooperation, they enjoy. The relation is that also like that of master and the servant. If the master is fully satisfied, then servant is satisfied. Similarly, the Supreme Lord should be satisfied. Although the tendency to become the creator and the tendency to enjoy the material world are there in these also living entities, because these tendencies are in the Supreme Lord who has created this manifested cosmic world. We shall find therefore in this Bhagavad Gita that the complete whole is comprises of the supreme control and the controlled living entities, the cosmic manifestation, eternal time, and karma or activities. All of these are explained in this text. All of this taken completely from the complete whole. And the complete whole is called Supreme Absolute Truth. The complete whole and the complete absolute truth are the complete personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. All manifestations are due to his different energies. He is the complete whole. So, till now we have read this part of introduction. Now let's summarize what we have discussed. First we discuss about these 5 basic about Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We have to discuss, and the whole Srimad Bhagavad Gita goes around these 5 basic truths: Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. First we discuss about Ishvara. Who is Ishvara? We are all living entities are Ishvara, but not Supreme. We are Ishvara in our field, but Supreme Ishvara is Lord of all. And this concept of Ishvara means I am the Lord, I am the enjoyer. Because this tendency of enjoyment is there, because we are the part and parcel of the Supreme. We have qualitatively the same qualities of Krishna, but in quantity there is difference. So this point is clear, where we are the subordinate Ishvara, we are cooperator, we are not Ishvara, we are cooperator. Just as this example of this stomach is given, and initially it is said like example of this car, this Prakriti, then Ishvara, then after Jiva, we are the subordinate living entity. So energy there, and then Prakriti. Prakriti have discussed about this. Aparayamitastam Prakriti Anya Prakriti Vidhime Param. So there is verse in the chapter 13. So chapter 9. Aparayamitastam Prakriti Vidhime. So is a 2 type of Prakriti: Para Prakriti, Apara Prakriti. The material nature and Krishna's internal potency, we can say. So this internal energy and external energy, and in between the Jiva is also the Prakriti, but has a difference. What is the difference? Jiva has consciousness, but material nature has not consciousness. So that point we have to clear. After that we ask about this Prakriti is not false. So many Mayavadi philosophers say is Jagat Mithya, but it is not false. It is not false, but it is temporary. It has for certain time as manifestation, and by time being it will be inherited at certain point of time. It is not false. So we have discussed Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti. Then Kala. Kala is the time or activities carried by the Jivas. So activities carried out based on this material manifestation, by using this activity, this manifestation, and the tendency to enjoy is called karma. The main distinction is given here like Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. So Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti and Kala are the like we say unchangeable, but the karma can be changed. There is a perfect word. Let me take to the back side. 5 point have discussed. Then we have discussed about consciousness also. This eternal. The Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, time. The 4 points are eternal. Like Ishvara is eternal, Jiva is eternal, Prakriti is eternal, time are eternal, but karma can be changed. So karma can be changed. And there is a discussion about this Maya Dakshina Prakriti. We have completed this. Then now last point we discuss about karma. But karma should be performed as per this propensity of enjoyment. But we have to understand we are the part and parcel of Supreme. We have the tendency to enjoyment, but we cannot be happy by serving ourselves or gratifying our senses, because we have tendency, we have to be cooperative. Unless we become cooperative, we cannot enjoy. Living entity can be enjoyed by service or by cooperating with the Supreme Lord. That's how we enjoy. Then consciousness, we have discussed consciousness. There is point consciousness. So what is consciousness? Consciousness, there is consciousness of I am the enjoyer, I am the Lord I serve. But we have to be in purified consciousness. Purified consciousness means acting according to the instruction or direction of the Supreme Lord. That is purified consciousness. And that is a sum and substance of this 5 basic things of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. If we know what is we are the subordinate, the Supreme, we are Jivas, and we know this material nature, and according to this on particular time we have performed our karma, then we have to do Krishna consciousness. We have to perform Krishna consciousness.